Hello Sranga, my name is Mikhail, or you can call me Michael, and today I want to answer the test that has been given. Hi Saranga, today I want to answer the assignment that you give in part 1, 2, and 3. Now, I want to answer in part 1 first. 1. What makes a happy life? A happy life is one where individuals are fully absorbed in their activities as proposed by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi theory of flow, fostering fulfillment and well-being. 2. What is the result of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi theory? Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi theory underscores that happiness is not dictated by external events but rather by our perception of an engagement with these events, emphasizing that our peak moments of joy arise when we are fully immersed in the state of flow. 3. What does Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi get the theory of flow? Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi developed that theory of flow after observing artists in their studios, noting their immersive engagement in the creative process, often losing track of time, disregarding hunger or fatigue, and experiencing profound concentration and enjoyment. 4. Mention and explain the flow theory. The flow theory proposed by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi posits that individuals achieve optimal fulfillment and happiness when fully immersed in an activity, experiencing deep concentration, enjoyment, and a sense of effortless involvement, characterized by a balance between challenge and skills. 5. Make a note. A. Flow is characterized by deep concentration, enjoyment, and a sense of effortless involvement, representing a state of optimal fulfillment and happiness. B. According to Csikszentmihalyi, happiness hinges not only on external events but also on our engagement with and perception of those events. C. By comprehending and actively pursuing activities that induce flow, individuals can augment their overall well being and life satisfaction. And now, in part 2, 1. What is the distinction between seeds and nuts? Botanically, seeds are part of flowering plants that grow into new plants when germinate, while nuts are single seed fruits with tough outer cells that do not attach to the ovary wall. 2. According to the professor, how do botanists define a seed? Botanists define seeds as the embryo and its integument of a flowering plant or tree, capable of growing into a new plant when buried in the ground and germinate, exemplified by seeds such as those found in sunflowers. 3. Why does the professor mention kernels? The professor notes that kernels, like those found in pecans or chestnuts, are not technically nuts but rather the edible part inside the outer cells of certain seeds or nuts, highlighting the discrepancy between their colloquial and botanical terminology. 4. What is the integument? The integument, which surrounds the embryo in a seed, can either integrate into the seed's structure or evolve into a fruit as the embryo matures, with some nuts possessing an integument while others, like berries and peanuts, do not. 5. Make it note. A. Understanding this distinction is crucial for clarity in both botanical and culinary discussion, while also emphasizing the nutritional importance of seeds and nuts in both human and wildlife diets. B. Botanically, seeds belong to flowering plants and have the potential to grow into new plants, whereas Nuts are a specific type of plant fruit characterized by a single seed encased in a hard outer shell. C. The integument, serving as the covering surrounding the embryo, contributes significantly to the botanical classification of seed. D. Kernels, commonly labeled as nuts in culinary terminology, technically represent the edible portion within the outer shell of specific seeds or nuts. And now, the last in part 3. We tell the story. Once upon a time, three bears cohabited in their woodland house, a great, huge bear, a middle-sized bear, and a little small wee bear. While the bears went for a walk in the woods to let their porridge cool, a curious girl named Goldilocks, recognized by her golden curls, ventured into their house and began to explore. Goldilocks tasted the porridge of each bear. The great, huge bears was too hot, the middle bears too cold, and the little, small wee bears just right. So she devoured it all. Goldilocks proceeded upstairs to the bedroom, testing each bed. The great, huge bears was too hard, the middle bears too soft, and the little, small wee bears just right, prompting her to snuggle under the covers and quickly drift off to sleep. Upon returning home, the three bears found their house disturbed, with their porridge eaten and beds used. The great, huge bear roared, the middle bear grumbled, and the little small wee bear squeaked in dismay. Upon reaching their bedroom, the bears discovered someone had been in their beds. The great, huge bear below, the middle bear grunted, and the little small wee bear chirped. Finding Goldilocks fast asleep in the little small wee bear's bed, startled awake by the commotion, Goldilocks fled from the house, running all the way to her grandmother's house, where she recounted her adventure with the three bears, only to have her grandmother dismiss it as merely a wild imagination. And now I'm already done to answer the question. Uh, I hope you enjoy it and thank you. So that was my video. I'm so sorry if there are missing words or answer. Thank you for watching my video and see you soon. Bye bye.